Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review of Lifelike by Jay Kristoff. This book was sent to me for review by Ellen and Unwin, and I just want to thank them so much because I was so excited to get this book and read it, and it was so good. I read it over 2 days, but most of it I read on like the second day because I started the night before, and then I finished it in one sitting because it was so good. So this book follows a girl called Eve. She lives in kind of a distant future world in a bit of a junkyard, which is their version of California. She spends time salvaging stuff and trying to make battle robots to make enough money for her grandpa's medication. She has a best friend called Lemon, a robot dog called Kaiser, and a talking robot sidekick called Cricket as well. However, one day things kind of all go wrong in one go. She loses all of her money after kind of betting on herself in one of these robot fighting competitions. She realizes that she can blow stuff up with her mind, which is super crazy, and also people are after her for it because apparently that kind of stuff is frowned upon. And then also she finds an android boy that known as a lifelike, the kind of like android people that look just like humans, and apparently people are after her for that as well. I enjoyed it so much about this book. First of all, let me say that it's exactly what you'd expect from Jay Kristoff. The only other books I've read by Jay Kristoff are the Illuminae Files, which he co-wrote with Amy Kaufman, and I love the Illuminae Files series, so my expectations, to be honest, for this book were really high, and it definitely met them. It was similarly to the Illuminae Files, super action-packed and fast-paced with really great characters and really witty writing. There were some crazy twists that I really didn't see coming, and there was a super crazy cliffhanger at the end, or like kind of a lot of cliffhangers in a way. And with those cliffhangers, I don't know how I'm going to be able to wait for the next book to come out. I think it comes out next year in 2019, hopefully, but super excited for that. My favorite thing about this book, even though it is super action-packed and has witty writing and great characters and all that stuff, my favorite thing about it was the way that it situates itself within the world. So you've got Hollywood, which they now refer to as Holywood, which just seems like super appropriate to me. It's not that far from like how we seem to be going as a society, so I thought that was really clever. There are a lot of biblical references as well, which were really interesting to me. There's references to Pinocchio, there's references, I think, well, a reference to a Dresden Dolls song, and I really like the Dresden Dolls. I don't know if it was a reference to that, but it's just something that I was like, that's a Dresden Dolls song. My favorite part though, out of all of those like references and things like that, was a historical event that's kind of alluded to. I wouldn't go so far as saying it's a retelling of it, except it kind of is in some places. And I just, as soon as I clicked, like it took me quite a while to click, but once I realized, I was like, oh my goodness, this is so clever, because it's super subtle. I feel like if you weren't aware of this historical event, you might not pick up on it, and it doesn't really matter. It still makes sense as a story, but just knowing what that was kind of inspired by, or what Jay Kristoff is alluding to there, just made it like so much more fun for me to read. I don't want to say what the historical thing is, just in case you haven't read this book, because for me, like, realizing that for myself was super fun and super satisfying, so I want to give you guys the chance to have that as well. But if you do want to know what it was, or if you've like read it and you want to talk about that thing, message me or something, because I thought that was so cool. I do want to talk about the characters in this book as well. Even though I loved Eve, our main character, and Ezekiel is the lifelike that she finds, I thought they were cute, but the side characters were definitely the standout characters for me in this book. You've got Lemon, who is her best friend, super weird name, but I love her. The whole book is told in third person and kind of limited to one character at a time. Usually it's from Eve's perspective in third person, but it's interesting because when it follows Lemon in third person from her perspective, she has a really strong voice, which is really clever, because even though it's through third person narration, her voice still comes through, and she's so hilarious. She's super kind of upfront and like badass, but she's really funny. Like, she jokes at moments when she probably shouldn't, and it's great. Cricket, the talking robot, as a sidekick, I loved him. He's kind of a smart aleck, which I feel like is something we see in robots quite a lot. For example, I think it's C3PO, I can never remember which order those letters go around in, but from Star Wars. Similar kind of thing I felt with Cricket, but Cricket was like kind of, in a way, one of Eve's best friends as well, so I thought Cricket was adorable. And then you have the robot dog called Kaiser. So Kaiser's a robot dog you could picture that, except that he actually has, even though he's got a robot body, he has the brain of a real dog, so is super adorable, as you can imagine. And in a way, which is always a good thing, it's always a plus from me, it reminded me a bit of Doctor Who, because K9, if you're familiar with K9 from Doctor Who, reminded me of that, except K9 talks and Kaiser doesn't talk but is still super cute. So yeah, all in all, I love this book so much, and I highly recommend it, especially if you loved the Illuminae files, if you like sci-fi, anything super fast-paced, if you like really lovable side characters, or if you like books that make reference to other things from history and other stories and things like that. I think you'll really like this as well. That was honestly my favorite thing about it. Yeah, you guys just need to read this book. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read it, what you thought of it. If you're gonna read it, let me know that as well, and I'll see you guys with another video in a couple days. Thanks for watching. Bye.